Inspiration. Have you ever been inspired by someone? Did that person know that they had inspired you? Inspiration can come from a variety of sources. A lot of times in our lives we hire professionals, whether it be a personal trainer, a fitness coach, maybe it's a life coach, it could be a financial coach that is a professional to help inspire, motivate, and guide us. But what about those in our lives that have inspired us purely based on the activities that they are doing in order to achieve their goals? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Today I'm going to share with you a story, a true story about myself. And I'll show you how in the pursuit of achieving one of the very large goals in my life, that many people around me were inspired deeply. I don't know how many, tens, maybe hundreds. But what I didn't expect was for those people to share my story with others, which in turn inspired them as well. And then as I started achieving my goal and started seeing me accomplishing my goal, it was those voices in my head that in turn inspired me. 4 years ago, I decided that I was going to start doing triathlons. Now, if you don't know what a triathlon is, you go for a swim, then you go for a bike ride, and you follow it up with a run. There are different distances, but today I'm going to talk to you about the ultimate in triathlons. It's called an Ironman triathlon. First, you go for a swim. This swim is 2.4 miles in open water. When I made this decision, I could not swim. Well, I thought I could swim, but I got together with my coach, Carla. Carla and I met at a pool one morning, 5:30 in the morning on a Monday morning. I remember it well. Because I met her at the pool. I'd never actually seen her face to face before. I met her at the pool. She was like, "Hi, I'm Jim. Carla, nice to meet you." I said, "Okay, Jim, well, show me what you got. Show me how you can swim. Swim down to the end of the pool and back, and then we'll have something to talk about." I get in the pool, and here I go. Splashing around, making all kinds of water flying everywhere. It was awesome, except for I did not move from my spot. Carla said, "Stop, stop, stop. You can't swim. What was your goal again?" I said, "In 2 years, almost to the day, from that day, I need to be able to swim 2.4 miles. I could see by the look in her eye there was a bit of doubt. I said, "Carla, my goal is strong. If you're willing to help me, we're going to get through this." She said, "Okay." We spent an hour together that morning. An hour using fins and using paddles and using boards just to get me back and forth across this pool. At the end of that hour, we're standing there. Well, I'm standing in the water at about 3 feet of the water. She's up on the side talking to me. I said, "Jim, we have a lot of work to do." I said, "Well, I know that, Carla, but what do you think?" She goes, "Jim, not only can you not swim," she goes, "you are scared to death to be in this pool." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "Look at your fingers." My fingers were ghost white from holding onto the pool so tightly while I'm standing in 3 feet of water. My goal was big. She was up to the challenge of helping me through this lack of ability to swim, this fear of being in the water. I thank her greatly. I still thank her today. She is an amazing woman. I told her that my goal is so strong inside of me that we will get through this. That began a lot of challenging swims for me. What I noticed was that every day at the pool, I had somebody coming up to me saying, "What was your name again?" I said, "My name's Jim." They're like, "I've seen you progressing. I actually did an extra lap yesterday because I saw you progressing." Some people were telling me they were doing more swimming. Others were telling me they were doing other activities outside of the pool based on the effort that I was putting forth. Then there's the bike ride. This bike ride was going to be 112 miles. 112 miles on a road bike. At this point in my life, I have never been on, nor did I own, a road bike. Have you seen road bikes these days? The seat. It's like this big. Are you kidding me? 112 miles on that seat. Look at this body. Do you think I could put 112 miles on that seat? But my goal was big. I started with 5 miles. Then I did 7 miles. When I got up to about 40 miles, I learned a term that I don't suggest you learn. It's called chafing. I wouldn't suggest you go there. Now, with time, with persistence, with consistent effort and some education, you learn how to deal with that term, and it's okay. I noticed the same thing when I was doing those bike rides and I was learning. People that are around me, other cyclists, and just people in my circle of influence, were noticing the effort that I was putting out. And they too were saying to me, Jim, that is incredible what you did. And you inspired me so much, I've gone out and done whatever it was for them. It was truly rewarding to feel that. Then we had a little run to do. A little run. 26.2 miles. A full marathon. At this point, the furthest I had run in my life was about 7 miles. And that had been a while back. I started training. 1 mile, 3 miles, 7 miles, and eventually worked my way up to about 17 miles. Didn't actually do any more than that in my training. It was amazing. Once again, same thing. People were inspired by just what I was doing. I wasn't intentionally inspiring them. They were just seeing the effort that I was putting out. The day came. August 12th, 2012. We were up in Canada. The day of the Ironman Triathlon. The swim that day, 2.4 miles, took me 1 hour and 36 minutes of consistent swimming. Then the bike ride, 112 miles, with 6,000 feet of climbing on that tiny little seat. I did it. Then I ran a full marathon, 26.2 miles, a little over 6 hours. The entire event took me 14 hours and 42 minutes. We completed that together. Me and every single person that was in my center of influence. All my coaches, all my trainers, my friends, my family. But most importantly, it was those people, whether I knew them or not, who told me that I had been inspiring them throughout my journey, that were now in my head pushing me through all those events and inspiring me to complete that event. I ask you, what are your goals? Who will you inspire in the pursuit of achieving your goals? Bella Testament.